Welcome, gents. The most powerful presence in the room is often the one that doesn't ask to be noticed. Sigma males don't flirt like most men because they don't need to. There's no performance, no forced charm, no desperate effort to impress, and that's exactly why it works. Their confidence is quiet. It doesn't beg for attention or approval. It's the kind of energy that doesn't enter to steal the spotlight. It just exists, and somehow people still feel it. A Sigma man doesn't lean on rehearsed lines or calculated gestures. He relies on his awareness, his calm, and his ability to stay grounded no matter who's in front of him. That makes people curious. While others are busy trying to win someone over, a Sigma is observing, not to manipulate, but to understand. He sees beneath the surface. He listens more than he speaks. And when he finally says something, it hits deeper than 1,000 compliments. He doesn't flirt for fun. He doesn't flirt for validation. He flirts, when he does, as a way of revealing truth. And if you're someone who operates like this, you might have been misunderstood. You might have been called cold, distant, or hard to read, but don't change. That stillness you carry, that focus, that silence, it's not emptiness, it's control. You're not playing the game, you're rewriting the rules without ever needing to explain why. So, gents, let's dive deeper into 12 ways how Sigmas flirt differently. Number 1, their gaze filters, not flatters. When most people look at you, it's either admiration or attraction. It's meant to make you feel seen, complimented, or liked. But a Sigma male's gaze does something entirely different. It doesn't flatter, it exposes. When a Sigma male looks at you, he isn't admiring, he's studying, not in a cold or calculating way, but in a way that quietly asks, who are you beneath all this? His eyes don't beg for attention or approval, they scan for truth. And the longer the eye contact lasts, the more you start to feel like he's reading everything you're trying not to say. That intensity can be unsettling, because we're used to being looked at with some sort of emotional goal, attraction, approval, curiosity. But a Sigma male doesn't look to impress, he looks to understand. And when someone looks at you like that, without judgment or expectation, it messes with you. It strips the mask. You start questioning how much of yourself is real and how much of it is just performance. That gaze doesn't feed your ego, it bypasses it, which is exactly why it either pushes people away or pulls them in hard. If you're insecure, you'll want to run. If you're real, you'll want to stay, because being seen like that feels rare, feels raw, feels personal, and that's what makes Sigma males different. Their eyes don't say, I like you. They ask, can I trust what I'm seeing? They don't use their gaze to charm. They use it to filter out everything fake. So if you ever find yourself in the path of a Sigma's stare, understand this. He's not trying to impress you. He's just seeing if you're worth revealing yourself at all. Number 2, they flirt through intellect, not appearance. A Sigma male isn't the type to rely on his looks to spark interest. He knows appearance can open a door, but it's never what holds it open. For him, real connection starts in the mind. And once he's sparked your curiosity mentally, physical attraction just becomes a natural side effect. You won't catch him playing the usual games. No fake laughter, no shallow compliments, no acting overly sweet just to get someone's attention. He doesn't need to exaggerate who he is. In fact, he doesn't need to flirt in the way most people define it. He'd rather speak in a way that challenges how you think. He'd rather ask a question that makes you pause. He'd rather show you a side of the conversation you didn't even know existed. That's where his power is. Imagine a setting where everyone is trying to be loud, funny, or flashy, and he's just there, calm and focused. Someone makes a casual comment, and instead of laughing or trying to one-up it, he says something that completely reframes the conversation. People stop and listen. And just like that, he's flipped the energy without raising his voice or trying to be liked. That's what Sigma males do. They work through the mind. They don't need to seduce with charm because their clarity, their curiosity, and their intelligence already stand out. And here's what most people don't see coming. Once your mind is locked in, your attention follows. Then your emotions, then your attraction. It builds without you even noticing it. By the time you realize what's happening, it's not because of how he looks, it's because of how he thinks. And how he made you think too. That's not flirting for attention, that's connection on a higher level. Number 3, they flirt by not flirting at all. Sigma males don't flirt the way most people do, because they don't need to. There's no playful banter, no cheeky one-liners, no over-the-top compliments. In fact, what throws people off the most is their complete lack of obvious effort. They don't act interested, they don't chase, they don't lean in just because someone is attractive, and yet people get hooked. Why? Because their biggest weapon is indifference, not fake indifference, genuine indifference. They're not pretending to be unbothered while secretly hoping for attention. They're actually fine with whatever outcome plays out. That emotional neutrality creates something most people aren't used to, mental friction. You start wondering, is he interested, or am I imagining this? That psychological ambiguity is powerful. When you're unsure of how someone feels, you start reading deeper into every glance, every pause, every interaction. And with a Sigma male, nothing is spelled out, which means your own thoughts fill in the gaps. You start second-guessing. You replay conversations. You wonder if you missed a signal. That's where the tension lives. Not in what he says, but in what he doesn't say. And that's why people find themselves drawn in. Not because a Sigma male did something dramatic, but because he didn't chase, didn't reassure, didn't push. And yet somehow he left a mark. He creates a space where you're the one wondering. You're the one leaning in. You're the one chasing a moment that may or may not even exist. That's not a game. That's presence without pursuit. Sigma males don't flirt to create interest. They hold their ground so well, people create it for them. And in a world full of noise and effort, their silence becomes unforgettable. Number 4, they're emotionally off-grid. You can't tap into a Sigma male's emotions unless he allows it. That's not him being cold. That's him being in control. And in a world where most people wear their feelings on their sleeves, oversharing, over-explaining, overreacting, his calm emotional distance stands out like a quiet storm. He doesn't give emotional access just because someone is charming or curious. He doesn't share just because it feels good in the moment. For him, emotional availability is earned, not handed out. And that restraint, that quiet control, it creates tension. It builds curiosity, it creates mystery. And mystery always wins over predictability. Because when you know exactly how someone feels all the time, you stop wondering, you stop reaching. But when someone keeps their emotional world private, when they're grounded and unreadable, your mind starts to fill in the blanks. You begin asking questions, you lean in more, you start noticing the small details, the way he pauses, the things he doesn't say, the energy behind his silence. That's the pull. He doesn't flood you with emotion. He gives you just enough to make you wonder what's underneath. And here's what's wild. It's not a game. He's not doing this to be mysterious. It's just how he is. His self-reliance runs deep. He doesn't process his emotions out loud. He sits with them, owns them, moves through them privately. So when he finally does let someone in, it matters. It means something because it's rare, it's deliberate. Sigma males don't need to be understood by everyone. They'd rather be deeply understood by a few and completely unreadable to the rest. That kind of emotional independence isn't just attractive, it's powerful. Number 5, they show no signs of neediness because they have none. Let's be real. Most flirting, even when it looks confident, is often a quiet cry for validation. A compliment here, a joke there, a little too much eye contact, all subtle ways of saying, please notice me. But Sigma males? They don't move like that at all. You won't catch them fishing for approval or trying to be liked. They're not interested in being the center of attention, and they don't flirt to feel desirable. That's because they're not running low on self-worth. Their sense of identity is intact, with or without anyone noticing, and that's exactly why people do notice. There's something magnetic about someone who doesn't need to be seen, someone who isn't chasing attention or begging for emotional crumbs. When you meet a Sigma male, you don't feel pulled in by effort. You feel pulled in by absence. He's not reaching for you, and yet he's already under your skin. That paradox is what makes him stand out. He's secure in who he is. If you're drawn to him, fine. If not, that's fine too. He doesn't change his energy based on who's watching. That kind of detachment isn't cold, it's solid. And that stability in a world full of people trying to be liked, it's rare, it's refreshing, it's irresistible. Because let's face it, we're all drawn to what we can't easily access. And when someone shows no signs of needing you, it naturally makes you want to understand why. Sigma males don't flirt to get something. They flirt without trying, and that makes people lean in without even realizing it, not needing to be desired. That's what makes them unforgettable. Number 6, they don't flirt to win. They flirt to reveal. Flirting for most people is a game. You play it to charm someone, impress them, maybe win their interest or attention. It's about building attraction. And more often than not, it becomes a form of silent competition. But Sigma males, they don't play to win because they are not chasing a prize. They flirt to reveal, not themselves, but you. To the Sigma male, attraction isn't about gaining control over someone. It's not about sweet-talking your way into their good graces or stacking compliments until they melt. That's shallow. He's not interested in how well you play the role. He's interested in who you are when the role drops. He'll ask questions that don't follow the script. He'll give you space to speak without reacting too quickly. He'll break the rhythm just to see how you respond when things don't go the way you expected. And that's the test. Not to trick you, but to see you. Are you real or just rehearsed? Do you know who you are without attention? Can you stay centered when someone doesn't try to win you over? Most people are so used to being pursued, praised, and pulled in with effort. But a Sigma male holds still. He doesn't impress, he observes, he doesn't play to conquer, he watches to uncover. And in that silence, in that raw space where the usual flirting rules don't apply, something different happens. You stop performing, you start revealing. That's what the Sigma wants. Not a win, not a number, not a moment of ego. He wants truth. Because if there's no truth in the connection, there's no value in the attraction. Number 7. They're allergic to performative masculinity. Sigma males don't put on a show to prove they're men. They don't puff their chest, overdo charm, or fake confidence just to look the part. In fact, if there's one thing they avoid completely, it's trying to look masculine, because they know real masculinity isn't about performance. It's about presence. You won't catch a Sigma male turning up the sweetness to seem more sensitive or forcing toughness to look alpha. He doesn't do loud dominance. He doesn't do fake softness either. What you get from him is raw, clean, unpolished, and that's the point. His masculinity isn't rehearsed. It's not a costume. It's not a curated vibe. It's just who he is underneath all the cultural noise. That's why people either respect it or feel uncomfortable around it, because there's no filter to soften it, no charming exterior to hide behind. When a Sigma male speaks or moves, it's not to be impressive, it's to be clear. And when he's silent, that's not a lack of effort, that's restraint, control, listening without needing to react. In a world full of men trying to be something, a Sigma is just being. That's what makes his presence so real. It's not about tapping into feminine energy or being hyper-masculine. It's about being grounded, direct, honest, and not needing to decorate his manhood with flair or approval. He doesn't flirt by showing off. He flirts by showing less and letting the truth do the work. That's not strategy, that's authenticity. And in today's world, that's rare. Because when you're not performing, you become dangerous in the best way. You stop trying to fit into the mold and start making people question why they ever believed in it. Number 8, they don't offer attention, they make you earn it. For most people, flirting is a way to give. Give compliments, give smiles, give attention in hopes of getting some in return. It's like handing out little emotional gifts, hoping to be liked back. But Sigma males move differently. For them, attention isn't something they hand out casually. It's not generosity, it's a filter. When a Sigma male interacts with you, there's no sense of look at me energy. There's no fishing for compliments. If anything, he's observing quietly. And when he does finally speak, when he makes eye contact, when he smiles, it means something. Not because it's loud or dramatic, but because it's rare. And that's the thing. With Sigma males, nothing is done just to fill the silence or to be polite. Every word, every glance, every small gesture is intentional. It's subtle, but it's loaded. Why? Because for them, flirting isn't about making you feel good. It's about seeing if you're worth engaging with on a real level. He's watching your honesty, your depth, your self-control. Can you stay grounded without constant validation? Can you handle silence without filling it with nervous chatter? Can you be real, even when you're not being rewarded for it? If you can, you'll notice his attention deepen, slowly. Not all at once, but if you can't, if you start over-explaining or trying too hard to win him over, he'll fade out without a word. Because his attention isn't a gift, it's earned, not through looks, not through charm, through presence, through authenticity. Sigma males don't test people with games, they test people with truth and how they handle it. Number 9, they don't use their body, they use your thoughts. Sigma males don't need to rely on their looks, flashy smiles, or physical gestures to grab attention. They don't lead with their body. They lead with suggestion, and that's what makes them so quietly powerful. A Sigma male can plant a single idea in your mind, A subtle question, a calm observation, a passing comment that seems small at first. But that idea stays with you. It lingers. It grows quietly in the back of your thoughts when you're alone. And before you realize it, you're the one doing the chasing. That's because he doesn't aim for the surface. He speaks in a way that sticks, that makes you reflect. Not because he's trying to seduce you, but because he's paying attention. He sees what others miss. He understands what most never notice. And when he speaks, it's not to impress. It's to trigger awareness. You don't leave a conversation with him feeling flattered. You leave feeling curious about him, about yourself, about what just happened. And that curiosity becomes a mental loop. You start revisiting things he said. You wonder why that one glance felt so intense. You ask yourself if he meant something more. That's how a Sigma male works. No flash, no obvious flirtation, just surgical precision with words, presence, and timing. He doesn't chase your body. He leaves your mind wondering. And that's what pulls people in deeper than anything physical ever could. Because once your thoughts are involved, your attention follows. Your emotions catch up. And by the time you realize what's happening, he's already walked away. Calm, silent, unbothered. Sigma males don't seduce, they suggest. And suggestion, when done right, is far more addictive than any display. Number 10. They don't flirt to connect. They flirt to reveal your intentions. Most people flirt because they want to form a connection. They want to be liked. They want to be wanted. But a Sigma male doesn't approach it like that. He's not flirting to bond. He's not flirting to spark something romantic. He's flirting, if you can even call it that, to reveal you. Every interaction for a Sigma is like a scan. He's picking up on your tone, your energy, your words, your timing. He's reading the subtle stuff. How fast you try to impress, how you respond to silence, how much of yourself is real versus performed. He's not trying to make you feel comfortable. He's checking your temperature quietly without showing his cards. Because here's the truth. Sigma males have a radar for fake energy. They don't have time for people who play games, test boundaries, or perform just to be chosen. The moment you start playing that kind of game, the exaggerated laughter, the back and forth, hot and cold, he sees it. And silently, he's already decided. You're out. You won't get a warning. You won't get feedback. You'll just feel the shift. Or worse, you won't feel anything at all because he'll be gone before you realize the test started. This isn't about control, it's about clarity. Sigma males value authenticity so much that they'll use attraction as a mirror, not to reflect how charming they are, but to reflect who you really are when no one's spoon-feeding you affection. If your energy is real, he'll stay. If it's fake, he won't even look back. Because to a Sigma male, flirting isn't about being seen, it's about seeing you and finding out if what's behind your smile is solid or just another mask. Number 11, they use precision instead of repetition. Sigma males don't flood you with attention. They don't try to win you over by repeating compliments, sending dozens of texts, or throwing out lines to see what sticks. They do the opposite. They wait. They watch. And when they decide to speak, it's with purpose. They're not about quantity. They're about timing. One glance from a Sigma male can speak louder than an entire conversation. One carefully chosen word can leave more impact than 10 compliments. He knows exactly when to lean in and when to say nothing at all. That level of precision makes his presence feel focused and intentional. Nothing is done just to fill the silence. Everything means something. Think of it this way. Most guys flirt like someone trying to hit a target with a machine that never stops firing. They hope something lands. A Sigma male moves more like a sniper, one shot, one hit, no wasted motion, no extra noise. For example, imagine a woman makes a joke and everyone laughs politely. A Sigma male doesn't join the noise just to blend in. He waits, and then when the moment is right, he leans over and says one smart, unexpected thing that shows he was really listening. That one moment sticks. Why? Because it wasn't for show. It was real. This is why people remember interactions with Sigma males. It's not because they were loud or overwhelming. It's because they were precise. Every word, every look, every gesture feels earned. In a world where people talk too much and mean too little, a Sigma's silence says everything. He doesn't flood you with flattery. He gives just enough to stay on your mind. He isn't playing a numbers game. He's making one moment matter. And once that happens, you never see him the same way again. Number 12. They flirt like strategists, not romantics. Sigma males don't flirt the way most people expect. You won't find them getting carried away in emotions or rushing into flirty banter just to spark excitement. Everything they do is calculated, not in a manipulative way, but in a way that's intentional and clear. They don't blurt things out just because the moment feels warm. They don't send messages at 2 a.m. because they suddenly miss you. Their approach isn't emotional, it's strategic. And that's exactly why it works. A Sigma male watches the room before he speaks. He studies people before engaging. He isn't trying to stir butterflies. He's trying to understand if the connection even makes sense. He doesn't flirt to feel something. He flirts to see something. Is there real interest, real depth? Or is it just surface-level attention? This calm, thought-out way of connecting triggers curiosity, not confusion. While most guys might text a bunch of heart emojis or rush to call you beautiful after 5 minutes, a Sigma male might wait. And then at the perfect moment, drop one statement that hits different. That's how he moves. Slow, intentional, focused. For example, you could be talking about something random, music, books, your plans for the weekend. And then he hits you with a quiet question that cuts through the surface and goes straight to the core, something personal, something real. It feels like he's seeing something in you that others missed because he is. That's not by accident, that's strategy. He flirts with awareness, with clarity, with a bigger picture in mind. And here's the best part, because he doesn't flirt all the time, it feels more powerful when he finally does. Every move feels different, every word feels intentional, and every connection feels like it actually matters. That's the Sigma way, never random, always real. In final words, the loudest ones chase attention, the rarest ones carry it. Sigma males don't flirt like other men because they're not built like other men. They don't need approval. They don't rehearse charm, and they definitely don't lose sleep over being liked. Their presence speaks before their words ever do, not because they're trying to stand out, but because they're simply not trying at all. You don't flirt to prove something. You observe, you filter, you give nothing away unless it matters. And that calm restraint, that unshakable self-control is what makes your energy so unforgettable. In a world full of people throwing themselves forward, your silence carries weight. While others reach for validation, you stay grounded in who you are. You let people reveal themselves first. You study before you speak. And when you finally do say something, it lands with precision. That's not detachment, that's discipline. That's a level of emotional control most don't have and few can handle. So if you've ever been told you're hard to read, too distant, or emotionally unavailable, don't take that as weakness. Understand what it really means. It means you're not easy to access. It means you don't hand out pieces of yourself like samples. It means your attention has value, and not everyone gets to have it. That's why your approach works. Not because it's loud, but because it's real. Keep showing up the way you do, honest, sharp, grounded. You weren't made to play the game, you were made to outgrow it. Thank you for watching, Gents, and God bless you.